Hello and welcome to Notice Tonight, the show that decodes the region. The Nagaland Assembly has passed yet another resolution to press for an expeditious resolution of the long-standing Naga political issue. This has been the sixth major resolution passed by the State Assembly since 1974, seeking an acceptable solution to the Naga problem. The latest resolution passed last Thursday, the 18th of February, as well as the one in 2018, have come during the tenure of the NDPP-led coalition headed by Chief Minister Nephew Rio, of which the BJP is a part. This is significant because the BJP is the most dominant player in the current NDA government at the center. The question now is, can the latest resolution by the 60-member Nagaland House, adopted by all MLAs cutting across party lines, cut ties with New Delhi to walk the extra mile and actually resolve the Naga problem? We really don't know and have to wait and watch. To discuss the subject, I am joined by the ruling NDPP spokesman, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR. Opposition NPF Secretary General, Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON, is also going to be with me shortly. Joining me also is the former president of Naga HOHO, Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM. And with me in New Delhi is Mr. THEJA, a leader of the Naga Tribes Council. Gentlemen, welcome to Northeast Tonight. Let me go first to you, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, spokesperson and senior leader of the ruling NDPP, joining me from Kohima, joining me today from Dimapur, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, welcome to Northeast Tonight. My question is, this is the sixth time that a major resolution has been passed by the Nagaland Assembly. It's of course an all-party resolution. Are you a hopeful person today? Are you hopeful that this resolution is going to cut ice? Because the 4-point resolution, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, is very generic in nature. It is not really very specific. Mr. JAMIR.
Yes, Wasbir, the resolution that has been passed may seem very general in nature. But what is important is that the legislators, the 60 members, or rather 59 members of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly, while passing this 4-point resolution, they were very resolute in deciding that since the government of India and the negotiating parties, they have all been very positive. And therefore, this resolution, basing on this resolution, they will actively pursue and facilitate for an early solution so that we can bring about the settlement at the earliest. So I think that is, though the resolution may not be very impressive on paper, however, I think what is more important is that all the members were very firm in their decision.
Right. Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM, former president of the Naga HOHO. Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM, you have heard the NDPP leader, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, saying that the resolution may not be that specific, but it reflects the spirit of the Nagaland Assembly, cutting across party lines. Basically, the point number 4 of the resolution is somewhat important. It says that the House urges the Government of India and the Naga political groups to sit across the table for the conclusion of the political negotiations that is honorable, inclusive and acceptable to the people as one solution without any further delay. My question to you, Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM, haven't we heard this for more than 25 years now? Okay, I think CHUBA OZUKUM is not hearing me. I'll pass this question to Mr. THEJA, joining me from New Delhi. Let us fix the line with CHUBA OZUKUM. Mr. THEJA, the same question goes to you. I'm talking about the resolution. Haven't we heard this for the last 25 years?
Yeah, Mr. Wasbir, thank you for taking us back on board again on this topic. This is nothing new. The present resolution to me is very comprehensive. It's practical. My point is that this is a major resolution which reiterates all other resolutions of the past. The resolution which was also adopted by JLF, Joint Legislative Forum, way back in July 2012. It clearly says that it further declare and resolve and committed by all the 60 members to pave the way for an alternative arrangement that may come about from the logical conclusion of the ongoing political process. So it has taken the past and present, the House of People into one voice, reiterating its demand that solution should not be delayed, but it should be delivered in the earliest possible time.
Now, Mr. THEJA THERIEH, as a civil society leader, as a voice of non-government voice from Nagaland, my question to you, Mr. THEJA THERIEH, do you expect anything more from the elected representatives? I will take this question, I will ask Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR to respond. But Mr. THEJA THERIEH, do you expect anything more from the elected representatives? We are not discussing party politics at this point in time.
Yeah, not at all. As far as this is concerned, all the 16 members are on board. And they have reiterated all the other resolutions which were adopted in the past. And they have also committed to pave the way for alternative arrangement.
But my question is,
so now they have to walk the talk, yeah.
My question is, do you expect anything more from them, from the MLAs?
Definitely they should demonstrate. Practically, they should walk the talk, and they should express and meet the people in authority, the government of India, about the anxiety of the people, the situation of the people. The people have expressed ourselves very loud and clear that we want solution. The ground is fully prepared. The civil bodies have unequivocally voiced to the government of India that we want solution should not be delayed. We have voices coming from neighboring states. They all have given the fraternal support.
Okay.
I mean, they all have support, the solutions should come about. And even the ethnic group of the region,
now
they have expressed the solidarity.
Hold your thoughts, Mr. THEJA THERIEH. I'm coming back to you once again. Let me now go to Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM, former president of the Naga HOHO. Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM, we have, as on the show, NDPP leader, senior NDPP leader, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, who said that it is that the content may not be that exciting, but the spirit is important. The spirit of the House, cutting across party lines. Now, my question is very simple. Haven't we seen this kind of a resolution many times in the past, in the last 25 years? Do you expect, as a civil society leader, do you expect anything more from the elected representatives? Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yes, please respond. Can you expect anything more from the elected representatives other than this resolution? Simple question.
Yeah, Wasbir. Okay, I'm sorry, I think some technical problem is here with me. Yeah, coming back to your question. In the first place, I must express my happiness to the Nagaland legislative,
members, and also the passing of the 4-point resolution during the recently concluded assembly session. I must also congratulate them for bringing out such resolution in the interest of the Naga people. Now, if we are to think about the resolution, they have specifically mentioned about the unity of the people in all the 4 points. They have talked about the unity among the MLAs. Also, they have mentioned about the unity among the civil societies and the Naga political groups. So, in the first place, they must really work hard to bring unity among the Naga people at large. Then, not only the resolution, but the members of the House, we must go to Delhi, lobby around, meet all the important people and the political parties in Delhi, and then try to bring the settlement between the Naga people and the Naga political groups. That is what I want to say.
Right, that's a very significant point, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR. Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM has raised a very important point. I was asking the question, what more can you expect from the elected representatives? Now, Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM said that they can play a bigger role in the sense that they can go to New Delhi, lobby with the political leaders, both the government and the opposition, sensitize them on the Naga issue, sensitize them on the delay, on the protracted Naga issue and how time is, all the time years are passing by without a solution, and that a solution has to come. Now, as the leader of the ruling party, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, do you think that is a good idea, obviously, isn't it?
Yes, Wasbir. You see, first of all, I mean, we have to understand that this resolution, initially I've said that on paper it may look very general and not specific. But we have to also understand that the opposition Naga People's Front, they had walked out of the Joint Legislators Forum. Okay, but now, in the 7th session of the Assembly, when the Naga issue was discussed, all the opposition MLAs also agreed to come together along with the Treasury bench to pass this resolution. So that shows that the elected representatives are committed, and that the party lines have been left aside and they have come together for the greater interest of the people. That is number one. Number two, when the resolution was being passed, it was also verbally discussed that the elected representatives will go to Delhi and discuss with the leadership there, and also meet with the negotiating parties in order for the Government of India and the Naga national political groups to bring about the settlement at the earliest. That was what was discussed verbally, and the MLAs, the elected members, are committed to go and work. We have to realize that we also have to understand that the government of Nagaland and the elected representatives, we are just facilitators. We are not party to the talks,
But
so therefore,
that is fine. We know,
yeah.
Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, we know that you are not party to the talks, but as representatives of the people, see, if Naga national political groups, if they are leading a movement today, it is obviously for the interest of the people of Nagaland and the other Naga areas. Now the question is, you may not be a party to the talks, but people have elected you to represent their voice, isn't it? Therefore, you have a bigger role to play. Isn't it? Do you agree on that limited point?
That is agreed. And you will also know that be it the ruling government or the opposition, they have on their own accord, the leaders have been going and meeting the negotiating parties in their own personal levels and as a government. And therefore now we have come to a point where, they have said the interlocutor, who is also the honorable governor, he has said the talks have concluded. So now it is, the assembly has resolved that they will go and meet the leaderships in Delhi.
Right.
To
Okay.
ask that these solution be given at the earliest.
So this is an important statement coming out from NDPP spokesperson, senior leader of the ruling NDPP, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, saying that the MLAs cutting across party lines are committed to move Delhi. Whether they go personally, all of them together or not, or send a delegation, that's a different issue, but they are committed to move Delhi,
Yes.
New Delhi, and lobby for an early and acceptable solution to the Naga problem.
Right.
I am also,
Right.
we have live on the phone line, Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON, Secretary General of the Opposition Naga People's Front. Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON, welcome. Lot of people are asking this question, that this 4-point resolution seems to be very generic in nature, nothing specific, but it reflects the will of the House. My question to you, what is the role, concrete role, do you think the elected representatives can play at this critical juncture when there seems to be some kind of a deadlock? Okay, technical snags as usual. Let me go to Mr. THEJA Terry on this, and coming back to you, Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM. Mr. THEJA Terry, a lot of people now ask this question. Lot of people are asking the question that at least one of the active stakeholders, that is the NSC and IM, they have said that the interlocutor needs to be changed. They want a new interlocutor. Now, do you think the elected representatives have a role to resolve this dispute? Because if one of the negotiating parties says that they want a new interlocutor or a different interlocutor, do you expect things to proceed?
Now, as said very clearly, the formal talk is over. Government of India will decide who will be the interlocutor, who will represent the government of India. That is for the government of India to decide. And it is loud and clear announced to the people that formal talk is over by both interlocutor and Naga negotiators. And if the formal talk is over, why talk about who should be the interlocutor?
All right, that is your
what
view.
What we are saying is whatever is agreed upon, sign, act upon it, and deliver what is promised to the people.
Okay, very concrete and specific point of view there of Mr. THEJA Terry from the Naga Tribes Council. I have now Nagaland People's Front Secretary General, main opposition party in Nagaland, Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON. Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON, welcome. The question is, this 4-point resolution, I was asking you, this 4-point resolution is very generic in nature, but it expects an expeditious and early and acceptable solution. My question to you, what is the exact role that the MLAs or elected representatives can play at this stage when there seems to be a deadlock as far as the Naga peace process is concerned? Your views, ACHUMBEMO.
Yes, Mr. Wasbir, I could not follow the other panelists, what they were discussing, but anyhow, the question which you are raising now, yes, we can say that it is generic in nature as far as the latest resolution of the Assembly is concerned. In fact, this is the 7th resolution which the Nagaland Legislative Assembly has passed, resolution on the Naga political issue. I would like to take a few minutes. On the 12th December 1964, the first resolution was passed on the Naga political issue. Then on the 28th August 1970, 16 September 1994, 18 December 2003, 27 July 2015, 20th September 2018, and 18 February 2021. If you read the first resolution of the latest resolution which the Nagaland Legislative Assembly has adopted, you will find that this August House endorses and reiterates the past resolutions.
Yes.
Wasbir, what are the past resolutions? In the past 6 resolutions that have been adopted by the House, the main focus was, of course, early, honorable, acceptable, inclusive solutions. But the most important part of the resolutions of the earlier 6 resolutions were basically focused on the integration of the contiguous Naga inhabited areas.
Yes.
And you will also find one interesting resolution in 2015 resolution where the Nagaland Legislative Assembly has also adopted a resolution to the effect that the Disturbed Area Act and the Armed Forces Special Powers Act also should be removed. These are the resolutions which the 18 February 2021 resolutions have reiterated and endorses. And therefore, we cannot simply say that it is generic in nature. There is a specific in it because the past resolutions are very specific. And when you say the word reiterates and endorses, I think it covers the meaning of what and the intent of the resolutions of the earlier one. Secondly,
Mr. KIKON,
you asked me about what the assembly, what the MLAs can play now. I think, Wasbir, the elected members as well as the political parties, we are not privy to the political talk. We are only a facilitator, and towards this end, as far as my party is concerned, both the legislature wing as well as the party, we have been actively of this party, this Naga people's deal today in actively facilitating to expedite the peace process as well as to bring about an honorable, acceptable, and most importantly, inclusive solution to the Naga political issue.
Right. Now, let me turn to, I'm coming back both to the civil society leaders. Let me turn to Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR of the NDPP. Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, basically, can we now expect, because the present government in Nagaland is a part of the NDA alliance. You are the NDPP, you have the BJP as your alliance partner. In the 2018 also, your chief minister had adopted or removed a resolution that was passed by the House. That was the resolution in 2018. This time also last Thursday, the House resolution was also moved by your chief minister, that is the Nagaland chief minister. I know that I am aware of the fact that this is not a political issue, but my question is something different. Now that you are part of the same political establishment in New Delhi, that is the NDA, do you think the NDPP, BJP has a much more important role to play? If you want, you can mobilize and put pressure or at least explain to the central government leaders, about the need to bring all the people together, all the groups together, resolve the differences and remove the roadblocks.
Yes, Wasbir, that is what our government has been doing. Be it the BJP leaders or the NDPP leaders, when they visit Delhi and they meet the Honorable Prime Minister or the Honorable Home Minister, they have been discussing and impressing upon the importance of an early resolution to the Naga issue, especially at a juncture when the BJP has got an absolute majority in the parliament. And yes, today we are discussing the resolution and what has been passed in the assembly on Thursday. But our leaders have been tirelessly discussing these issues with the government of India and the leadership there. And we will continue to do so. As a party, we are also pushing our legislators. We are encouraging them. So, though we are discussing this today, our leaders have been discussing with the leadership in Delhi ever since we have come to power in
Right.
2018.
Okay. Now, a specific question to you, Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM. Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM, a very direct question to you. As a leader of the Naga HOHO, my question to you is, would you expect the government of India, or do you want the government of India to also hold a round of discussions with all the political parties or all the political leaders from Nagaland, as well as the civil society leaders from Nagaland, like the Naga Tribes Council, the Naga HOHO, the Naga Students Federation, the Naga Mothers Association, and maybe the Global Naga Forum and so on, who are actively talking or trying to facilitate peace. Do you think the time has come for a discussion? You see, you may not be direct stakeholders, but all these people I referred to, the political leaders, civil society leaders, no one can deny the fact today that they represent the voice of the Naga people also.
Yes, Wasbir, that's a very relevant question. Before I come to your question, I want to clarify one thing. The governor of Nagaland, who is also happened to be the interlocutor,
Yes.
has been saying that the Naga political dialogue has concluded on 31st October 2019. Except the governor and the interlocutor, I have not heard such statement from either Prime Minister or the Home Minister of India. They've never said, they've never mentioned that the talk is being concluded. And I think that is why till today, the process, the peace process, the political dialogue is going on between the IP officials and the NSNIM leadership. That is what I believe, that is one thing. Secondly, coming back to your question, now there is sharp division among the Naga people, among the civil society leaders, political parties, and also the different national political groups, Naga national political groups. We are unable to come to a common table and share our burden, our problems. Even among the Nagaland Legislative Assembly members, we are unable to come to a conclusion and bring out a consensus decision how to bring about a solution. Likewise, among the civil societies also, we are unable to sit together and share our problem. So yes, no doubt, we must try ourselves, whether it is political parties, the different political groups, or civil societies of Naga people, we should try to come together and sit together.
Yeah.
But
now,
if that is not possible, yes, there is every ways and means on the part of a government of India, whether it is interlocutor or IP officials or any government agencies, they must also try to bring all the Naga people together.
Right. So that is the point.
Across the table,
point
instead
noted.
of trying to divide our people.
Point noted.
Further and further.
Point noted, Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM. Now the issue is, there is no denying the fact that there are different opinions emerging in the Naga society, whether it is the civil society, whether it is the political leadership, whether it is the Naga national political groups. But isn't that what democracy is all about? But negotiations to succeed for a one solution some convergence is necessary. When I'll go for a short break, when I come back, I'll try to find out whether that convergence is possible in the present scenario. Don't go away. I'll be right back in just 1 minute. Welcome back. Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON, you have heard Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM. He has said what people by now have realized. There are different voices in the entire Naga society. That is, of course, nothing to be surprised. But for a solution to arrive at, particularly for one single solution, at the end of the day, you cannot sign a separate agreement with a particular Naga national political group or a Naga rebel group. It has to be one solution. Now, how to resolve this issue? Differences are fine, that is not surprising. But how do you reach a common ground? What is your experience after so many rounds of talks with all concerned?
Yes, as far as the NBF, the Naga People's Front is concerned, Wasbir, we mean business when we talk on the Naga political issue. I have been stating this on several of your shows, that the Naga People's Front is committed to the durable, honorable, acceptable and inclusive solution to the Naga political issue. As you have rightly pointed out, it is nothing new for a struggling group of people like ours, the Nagas, to have differences of opinion. But you must remember that the objective is one and the same.
Yes.
And for the NBF, we have been reaching out to the various civil societies, also to the Naga political groups, the various Naga political groups. You are aware that we have formed the Political Affairs Mission, comprising of the NBF party officials and the legislature wing. And we have been working hard on this, and we have reached them out. There is a positive response from all the groups that there will be a right time will come when they will sit and thrash out the differences and look for a solution, because Nagas are only one people, there is only one struggle,
no, but
there has to be only one solution.
Mr.
This
Kikon,
is where we stand.
Mr. Kikon, who can unite them according to you?
Yes.
How is this unity going to come? Signing of the accord, signing of the agreement will come at a later stage. But when is this unity, or how is this unity going to come? That is what everybody wants to know. Because your party has been doing work, it has not succeeded. NDPP has also been working. Don't forget that. NDPP has also been working. They have also not succeeded in uniting. The church had also been trying the Naga reconciliation forum.
Wasbir, I think that you are giving conclusion very early. How can you say that we have not succeeded? No. That is an allegation which you are putting. No, we will not accept that. We are still trying. There is a positive response from all this group. No. You cannot say that we have not succeeded. We will succeed. We are confident. We will do it.
Confident is fine.
We will do it. We will succeed.
I
Nagas will come together.
Your point. Confidence is okay. Mr. Kikon, confidence is okay. But my point is, for a couple of weeks, several months now, your political affairs mission has been, meeting the stakeholders. But I have people of Naga. No. Listen to my first question. Let me complete the question.
I'll respond to you.
No, let me complete the question. Why have you not been succeeded? Why have you not succeeded in bringing the NSC and IM and the NNPGs together to sit across the table and discuss?
how can you make things a complicated an issue which has been stretching on for past 6-7 decades to make it that simple? Naga issue is a very complicated one, as you are aware. It is not confined to a particular state. Nagas are both in India as well as in Burma. Now, even in India, there is, our people are divided into various states. And there are adversaries who are working hard day and night in dividing the Nagas because they could foresee that Nagas coming together is a force to be reckoned. It's a threat for them. There are adversaries like that. And therefore, towards this end, all of us, and especially as far as my party is concerned, I said we are committed and we have been working. And you cannot say that we have not succeeded. We will succeed. There is a process. When there is a process, you cannot just give us a foregone conclusion that it is not successful, now, it is not succeeded. No, we will succeed. The process is going on.
Let me bring in Mr.
Response from all the groups is positive, and therefore we will do it. We will do it, and they will come together. And even it is unison. The civil societies, including the churches, the students, all the HOHOs. Everybody is on the same page, on the same line.
I have heard you.
To come together and we will thrash out the differences.
Yes. You have made your point. Everybody has to be optimistic. I like your optimism because without optimism, you cannot proceed ahead. That is point number one. Now, let me talk to you.
No, it is not about optimism. I'm talking about the reality. It will happen. It will happen. Wasbir, it will happen. We will seek the cooperation of our neighbors also. It will happen. It is not only about speculation, optimistic. No, it will be a reality.
Okay, that is what everybody wants. That is what everybody wants, irrespective of who succeeds in uniting and bringing the Naga groups into a common voice. That is not important. What is important is the success of the peace efforts. Mr. MERENTOSHI, JAMIR, the talk about there are certain groups in Nagaland who's saying that the issue is about Nagas from Nagaland only. There are certain voices in Nagaland who are saying that the issue is about Nagas from Nagaland, so on and so forth. Other Nagas are outside Nagaland, this, that, and now that integration is a very difficult process, so on and so forth. Do you think these are obstacles? How would you come around to these kind of voices?
Wasbir, as pointed
out.
The 4-point resolution passed.
Let's get the audio on the phone.
The first resolution is very clear that we reiterate all past resolutions. And as pointed out by ACHUMBEMO, the past resolutions have always dealt with the integration of Naga contiguous areas. And by reiterating the past resolutions, this government, this present assembly, is also standing by the integration of Naga contiguous areas. Now, what is being discussed between the government of India and the negotiating parties, we are not privy to that. And therefore, we don't know exactly what is being discussed. And actually, coming to the thing about that the Nagas are not united, we are united. We all want a common goal, that is to bring about a successful settlement, a solution that is acceptable to the people, inclusive. And that is why in point number 3, resolution number 3, we have appealed, the MLAs, the elected representatives have appealed to the people to come together as one for a greater interest of the Nagas. So we have been, the MLAs have also appealed to the people to come together. Now, to be very honest, the people, the common people, yes, we seem divided because we do not know what is exactly has been discussed, what has been put down on paper. Until we know that, then there will be confusion. And that is why we are looking divided. Otherwise, we all want one goal. We have the same goal in mind, that is to come together. Coming to the negotiating parties, the Naga national parties, political parties, you see, The interlocutor and the honorable governor after the talks have been concluded, can we move forward to push our leaders to come together as one? And that is what this resolution is about, to work towards bringing all the negotiating parties into one fold so that we can bring about one solution for the people.
Right.
So I think, yeah. So basically, I think, yes, we look divided, which is natural. But I think in our goal, in our what we want, what we
Absolutely,
need, what we want
absolutely.
is the same.
As
is the same.
right. Very well said, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, and I think nobody will dispute the fact that, you may be having different voices, but at the end of the day, the objective is one. That's what the other panelists have also said. The objective is one, to arrive at an acceptable and honorable solution to the Naga problem, inclusive solution to the Naga problem. Now, Mr. THEJA, what Mr. MERENTOSHI has said, as well as Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON, they said that, resolution number 1 in the latest resolution, they saying that it reiterates all the past resolutions, and all the past resolution talks about integration of Naga areas. Now, that means the integration of Naga areas is very much on the negotiation table, contrary to what some reports and some views suggest that integration is something which is not possible today. But from what we have been discussing now, from what Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR has said, that this resolution itself makes it very clear that the integration issue is very much on the negotiating table or the discussion table. Mr. THEJA.
Yeah, Mr. Wasbir, I should say there is absolute unity as far as our mandate and our aspirations are concerned. There's no division. Our goal, our objective is same. There's absolute unity. But in the process of negotiation, there's bound to be differences, bound to have division, because political groups have their own different ideologies and principles. Whatever it may be, the mandate is given to them to negotiate to the extent that is possible, so that they will hammer out an inclusive solution. They will hammer out that is acceptable by the people. And negotiators are given that mandate. Now the process is concluded. Then it is the government of India who should spell out what they have negotiated with the negotiators. And they should all converge, come together, and sign what they have agreed upon. This move of unity and the move for reconciliation. This process will continue prior to the signing agreement, even post-solution, post-agreement. This reconciliation process will continue.
Let me bring
and
this.
I'm sure
right.
we have
let me
the same goal.
Let me bring this. Let me bring this to Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM. Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM, the difference in approach is perceptible. Now, Mr. THEJA is saying that whatever is the negotiation going on, even before the negotiations, after the agreement also, reconciliation process will go on. But what about the Naga HOHO? Naga HOHO says that all the issues have to be resolved before the accord is signed, isn't it? And for example, the issues of the flag and the constitution that has been raised by the NFC and IM, you have been saying in the past that these are core issues which has to be resolved before an accord can be signed. NFC and IM has made it very clear in black and white. Their chairman has said, Mr. Tuku, has said that these are the core issues and there can be no signature on the dotted lines unless the issue of flag and constitution is resolved. So we are in a deadlock in that case.
Wasbir, I have clearly stated a short while ago that to me, the talk is not concluded till today.
Right.
That is why the negotiation is on. Yes, to be honest, the talk which have been taking place between the 7 NNBGs and the interlocutor, the government of India, they have brought out what we call it a great position. And they have been saying that talk is being concluded, they are all ready to sign. But apart from that, now the biggest question is, NSNIM is asking the government of India to recognize the Naga flag and the Isabo, the constitution,
Right.
of which government of India is unable to give a befitting reply. I don't know what will happen at the end of the day, but if they are unable to thresh out their differences on the question of flag and constitution, I don't think it will be easy to resolve our issues.
Okay. So, Mr. CHUBA OZUKUM, there, if the issue of flag and constitution cannot be resolved, it will be really difficult to resolve the overall broad issue. Final comments from you, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR, as the ruling party in Nagaland, the NDPP, and also the fact that you are a part of the NDA, lot of responsibilities now to break the deadlock, bring all the critical issues, address them, and push the peace process towards a situation where an accord can be signed. Lot of responsibilities on the soldiers of the ruling party in Nagaland, ruling coalition rather.
Yes, definitely. Being the ruling ruling government, there is a lot of responsibility. The people are depending on the government, our leaders, to bring about to help bring about an early settlement. With the support of the people, we are confident that we'll do what we can do best. As I've said, as we all know, the government is not privy to the talks. What is being discussed between the government of India and negotiating parties, it is between them. We are only aware of what they tell us. And therefore, we hope that whatever issues are there will be resolved at the earliest. From our end, we are there to support, extend our support to whatever is being agreed upon. And as a government, our representatives, and as a party, our leaders will continue to meet, discuss, be it the government of India leaders or the leaders of the Naga national political groups.
Right. I think we have lost the line to Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR. If I have Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON. Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON, your final comments. Mr. KIKON, your final comments. Recently, the Chief Minister, Mr. Nefurio, said that there are not much differences between the opposition NPF as well as the ruling combined on the approach to reach a solution. So these are quite good things to hear at a time when, these are not political issues. These are very critical issues concerning a race, concerning a nationality.
Yes, before I come back to your question, I joined you late. Number one, the government of India, the central government, they have been expressing reservation in finding to convince our neighboring states, that is especially Assam and Manipur, on the pretext that it is being ruled by the other political party. Now, there is a government installed in Assam and Manipur run by BJP. And in Manipur, in fact, NDPP is giving them support to run the government. Now, when they have this conducive atmosphere, the government of India should be serious enough to resolve the issue at the earliest. As I said, acceptable, honorable, and inclusive solution. Number one. Number two, as far as the present government here in Nagaland is concerned, it is also being 50-50 shared with the NDPP and the BJP. So what is the hurdle in overall environment of the Northeast, including Nagaland state, in reaching to an early political settlement? This is what we would like to question the government of India as well as the Nagaland government. As far as the Nagaland government is concerned, now there was a joint legislative forum. Our MLAs, the NPF MLAs, withdrawn from that joint legislative forum because it was not activating at all, and therefore they have withdrawn, and we have formed the Political Affairs Mission, which you are aware. After that, after which only the government of the day, the THEJA government, waking up from their slumber, and even this resolution, the present resolution, in fact, we don't want to take the credit, but it is the persistent insistence of the NDPP MLA.
Right. Point. No, I'm running short of time. ACHUMBEMO.
Just give me 2 seconds. Now I'll conclude. I will conclude. Now, as far as the comment of our Honorable CM, Mr. THERIEH, is concerned, yes, there is no lacking as far as my party is concerned, NPM. We have been giving him full cooperation to his government. And we have been doing that. We will do that as far as the Naga political issue is concerned, because we mean business, we will walk the talk. That is what this party stood for. It has stood the test of time, and we will stand by that. And therefore, we can assure him our commitment, our support, so long as they are committed to the Naga political issue.
ACHUMBEMO, you have to give the final comments. Now, Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON, final comments to you, Mr. MERENTOSHI JAMIR. You have heard a direct allegation leveled by the NPF leader saying that, when there is the BJP government in Nagaland's neighborhood, what is the problem in resolving the issue of integration of Naga areas? MERENTOSHI Jamir, can you hear me? Oh God. Okay, so these MERENTOSHI, yes, MERENTOSHI Jamir, Mr. ACHUMBEMO KIKON has said, when the BJP is ruling Nagaland's neighboring states, what is the harm? Why can't you resolve the issue of Naga areas integration? Okay, so these are issues, these are different voices while the producers are connecting with MERENTOSHI for his final comments. Basically, these are very, very critical issues at this point, sensitive issues which we need the government and the negotiating team needs to resolve. But it is not surprising to find different voices emerging, but as the panelists have said, the objective is the same. MERENTOSHI Jamir, Mr. MERENTOSHI Jamir, we are having a lot of difficulty in reaching to MERENTOSHI Jamir for his final comments. This is the connectivity. Yes, MERENTOSHI, for final comments, I am running short of time, 20 seconds to you. ACHUMBEMO KIKON has said that when the BJP, your partner, are ruling Assam, Nagaland, Manipur and all these places, what is the harm? Why are you not able to resolve the issue of integration? Very quickly.
Well, Wasbir, you see, we may speak for integration, but it depends on the government of India whether they will agree or not. Yes, without a doubt, our coalition partner BJP is ruling in Assam, is in government in Manipur, is in Arunachal. We don't deny it. But these are sensitive issues which they, as a government, also have to deal with their own people. And therefore, it is best left to the government of India to discuss. We impress upon our friends.
Right.
But it is up to the government of India to decide what is to be done.
Absolutely. Certain things cannot be decided by the party who are stakeholders themselves. Certain things have to be left to the government of India. That's what Mr. MERENTOSHI Jamir is saying. I am absolutely out of time. I thank all my panelists for participating in the discussion and the viewers for watching the show. Good night and goodbye.